Hello everybody and welcome to round one coverage here at the 2018 PDGA World Championships. My name is Cory and we are catching up with Calvin Heimburg. The story of round one here on hole 9 does unfortunately throw out of bounds and cards the first bogey of his round, halting what was an 8 for 8 start here on Fox Run Meadows during day one. After backing that one up with another bogey on hole 10, here he is absolutely punishing his drive on the par 4 hole number 11, setting up one of the most routine birdies you will ever see on this hole. We caught up with Calvin to ask him a little bit about his tap-in eagle on hole 7.
Drive went farther than I thought it was going to, just kind of stood up, held straight for a long time, and I initially was going to lay up with a fairway, but then I realized worst case scenario was par, so I went with the same disc, threw it about the same as the tee shot, and it was within like inside 20 feet, so easy eagle, I guess. I think everything's just clicking right now. I don't think anything in particular is working better than normal. Putting was a little bit of an issue at times at MVP, but I didn't miss any today that I can think of, so I think maybe putting today was something that's clicking a little more than it normally does. It's normally my weakness.
Well, the putts very well may be his weakness normally, but today they were not, as he carded 100% inside the circle putting percentage. And when you back that up with an arm like this, we've got an early contender out here in Vermont.
I've been there, I was there 2015, so I've been on a lead card at Worlds before, so hopefully no nerves, but we'll see tomorrow.
Hey, Sexton.
It's good to hear Calvin is ready and poised for round 2, but he will have the likes of this man, Nate Sexton, nipping at his heels as he did come in with a 10 down, leader in the clubhouse until a late surge by Calvin, and it was due to this. The putter was on and the sidearm was dialed. He was all over the green today, always going good until a little bit of a slip up on the extremely tough par 4 hole 16.
On 16, I made bogey, but it was because I had my best drive of all of the whole week so far and just got aggressive there. It's kind of a tough hole. I mean, maybe the hardest hole in the course with a lot of out of bounds and a long woods tunnel. So I was annoyed because I went out of bounds by 3 or 4 feet, but I wasn't shaken by that. And then the last two I feel are very birdie. 17 is just kind of throw it up in the air. I never even know what's happening, but every time it's in the circle, it feels like if I just throw it up high. 18, it's just hyzer, backhand hyzer, and then forehand hyzer. So those are 2 holes I expect to get.
Conrad.
Another competitor in the mix early, James Conrad, will be featured on the first round coverage at a Central Coast Disc Golf, getting his day started with a nice easy Thunderbird into the landing zone en route to his birdie 3. Now, a man normally known for his putting, and today was no different. The 94% inside the circle putting, driving his score to 9 down overall. Now, stop me if you've heard this before, but the trouble came on hole 16, forced to pitch up on his second shot and into a putter on his third. A wind misread is going to cost him a stroke here as he is left at 55 feet and unable to put it down. Fret not though, the big arm able to show off on 18, throwing the huge drive and setting himself up perfectly for the birdie 3. James sits 9 under par and firmly on lead card, heading into the heavily wooded Brewster Ridge. Our final MPO player to be covered today, the returning, defending champion Ricky Wysocki, here playing at what feels like a home course as he has dominated this tournament in years past. A hot start would leave him 4 down through 6, but his lone mistake was on that tricky hole 8 as he did turn over the sidearm on his approach, throwing out of bounds and having to settle with the unfortunate bogey 5. Getting back on track though, hole 16, where we have seen some players slip up earlier in the day, Ricky absolutely pures his second shot, putting himself at a mere 17 feet, tapping in his easy birdie 3. Count that as a birdie on 17 as well, and a birdie on 18 after this huge drive. Does flirt precariously close with that out of bounds on the left side. Ricky is sitting at 8 under par and on the third card, but well within striking distance as there are 4 rounds left to play.
I started off pretty decent and then kind of got stale in the middle, but I finished strong. I knew that today was, we got 4 more rounds to go. I just want to make sure I didn't take myself completely out of it. Was, like I said, coming into 16, I knew I had to birdie out to have a chance and to be in contention really still. I think I'm only 2 or 3 backs, which is totally acceptable after the kind of round I had today. I wasn't throwing great, but I wasn't putting great, but I managed to scrap 8 under and get a new day tomorrow and hopefully take more advantage of some opportunities that I didn't today.
Shifting over to the FPO side, and the story is Rebecca Cox.
My only expectation was to stick to my game plan and just play my game and do what I do in the woods.
And what she does in the woods is shoot an absolutely dominant 992 rated 1 down from Brewster Ridge Golds.
Brewster, I feel more comfortable with. My game plan there was just attack the holes I can attack and just, play for par on like the par 4s on holes I don't really feel like I can be aggressive on. But Fox Run is a lot more open, and I'm not really much of like a power thrower. I don't really have very much distance, but my game plan for there is to just stay in bounds, get my pars, stick to my plan,
Bred in the trees of Idlewild, Rebecca is out to a 3-stroke advantage in the FPO division, largely due to her 56% fairway hits, as well as 75% scramble rate. That's doing work.
Paige Pierce.
Next up is perennial favorite and 4-time world champion Paige Pierce. She was on the feature card during round 1 and getting the Jomez treatment, unfortunately getting herself off to a rough start, catching the tree on her hole 1 drive, but getting back on pace with a nice par save on hole 3. The highlight of the round for Paige was the absolutely masterful work she put together on hole 4, carding the only birdie 3 in the FPO division, and you can see how. Stellar off the tee and absolutely clutch from the fairway, and a nice putt to boot. Here she is on the 410-foot downhill hole 10, crushing that force over convict all the way down to the pin. She is one of 2 women, her and Katrina Allen being the only 2s on this hole for the day. With the ups came the downs though. This, the par 4 hole 11, notoriously tough. She does turn it over off the tee and then continues to hit trees, eventually plinkoing her way down to a triple bogey 7. Catching up with our leaders in the FPO division, like I said earlier, Rebecca Cox out to that commanding 3-stroke lead, carding the 1 down out at Brewster Ridge. But remember, we are moving over to the big bomber course, Fox Run Meadow, lined with out of bounds, and you have to think playing to the advantage of the likes of Paige Pierce, Jessica Weiss, and Paige Pierce, who are all within striking distance. In the MPO division, call him Calvin Heimburg because he was serving up criminal amounts of birdies out there. 13 of them, along with 2 bogeys, to card the 11 down and sole possession of the lead at the 2018 PDGA World Championships. Nate Sexton, Nico LaCastro, James Conrad, Paul Macbeth, Jake Lauber make up the leaderboard from there. Matt Bell, world putting champion, Andrew Fish, Lance Brown, all really logjammed at that 9 down. Greg Barsby, Will Schustrick, and Ricky Wysocki make up that 8 down cluster as well. We are so tight at the top here, and we cannot wait to see this unfold. Thanks for joining us, and be on the lookout for next day round coverage from Jomez Pro as well as Central Coast Disc Golf, and join us for live broadcasts for round 3, 4, and 5 out here at the 2018 PDGA World Championships.